Oh, what is this place? Where am I?
You awake in a dark room with no recollection of how you got there. After stumbling to your feet, you wander the room in a daze, reaching out and flicking on a nearby light switch. Light then floods the room, revealing a padded cell surrounding you. Against the wall, you see a barred window. Looking out, you see flashes of lightning, occasionally revealing a dense forest. At the end of the room lies a thick steel door with the number 053 engraved on it. Trying the door handle, you find that it's unlocked, feeling a small sense of relief as you open the door. Outside the room, you find a long brick hallway, doors and lockers lining the walls. It looks akin to something you'd see in a prison, though you're fairly confident it's an asylum based on the padded cell you just emerged from. You approach the door next to your cell. A small barred window allows you to peer inside. You see another padded cell, however this one has much more grime and dirt on the walls. In the corner you see a man curled up in a ball, rocking back and forth and mumbling. You check a multitude of doors with no luck. All of them seem to be locked, except one. A bloody face with X's for eyes is painted on the door. Next to it lies a note that reads, "Don't go in there. He really did it." With nowhere else to go, you ignore the warning and cast aside your instincts, cautiously opening the door. The room is pitch black. A foul stench invades your nostrils as you push further into the room. While taking another step, you feel something beneath your feet. Lifting your foot, an audible click is heard. Following the sound, a beam of light pierces the darkness, revealing a man hanging from the light fixture above, a black extension cord wrapped tightly around his neck. His face a sickly shade of purple and blue, with blood dripping down his lifeless body. You recoil in horror and disgust. Looking down, you see what you stepped on, a flashlight, and under the body you notice a small key. You pick up the flashlight and reluctantly push the body aside to grab the key. Alongside it you find a note, seemingly written by the man. The note describes a blurry memory from the man, a chair, tight belts, pain, something burning, and other feelings of discomfort. Gathering your thoughts, you push past the body once more, leaving the room and descending down the brick hallway, eventually halting at one of the doors. You try the key and it works. The lock clicks and you push the door open. You're greeted by another hallway. However, this one is much brighter, the walls of bluish green topped with a white cap. More doors and lockers lining the hallway. Descending down, you pass another iron door with barred window on it. Peering inside, you see a leather chair with belt-like straps, a bloody tray of surgical tools on a nearby table. A shiver is sent down your spine as you recall the note by the hanged man. He must have been in there, tortured beyond comprehension. The further you walk down the hall, the more blood lines the walls. Bloody handprints on the lockers, splatters of blood on the floor. You feel uneasy but push forward, knowing you have to get out of here. On the last locker you find a note. The handwriting looks familiar. The note describes some sort of creature, clicking, gurgling, getting ever closer. You shudder at the thought of it, but then you hear it yourself. The air gets cold, the lights begin to flicker. You hear the monster's horrid sounds getting closer. Quickly you turn off your flashlight and hide in a nearby locker. Loud, inconsistent footsteps approach the locker. You hold your breath, your body shivering in fear. Through the small slits in the locker you see it. A nightmarish humanoid figure with its face split vertically, a giant gaping mouth in its place. A vile mixture of saliva and blood dripping down its pale, fleshy body. You watch as it stumbles down the hall, thankfully passing by your locker. After it leaves, you stay in the locker for a bit longer, frozen in shock and processing the horror you just witnessed. Finally, you muster up the courage to leave the locker, quickly making your way down the hall, opposite of where the creature went. You try the first door you find, and to your surprise it opens. A sign above reads Medical Wing. Going into the room, you see an operating table with a man sprawled out on it. A gaping wound in his chest, his ribs pulled outward, revealing all of his organs. Despite the nauseating sight, you see something reflecting the light above in his chest. Taking a closer look, you see a key resting inside the cavity. After carefully picking up the key, you notice a filing cabinet in the corner of the room, seemingly rummaged through, with a document laying on top. The document says, Patient 053, name, Rowan Walker, age, 24, hair, brown, diagnosis, hallucinations, aggressive behavior, and amnesia. Note, don't bring up his brother. You think back to the cell you woke up in. The door reading 053. Is this document about you? For a moment you question the things you've been seeing. However, determined to escape this place, you brush off the document and leave the room with your new key. Returning to the hallway, you begin to backtrack toward the brick hallway, recalling a janitor's closet with a matching lock to your key. You manage to get about halfway down the hall before hearing that awful sound again. Quickly you climb back into the closest locker, waiting for the creature to pass by. It stumbles past, stopping in place for a moment before continuing onward. Once you're in the clear, you open the locker door and bolt down the hall, swiftly opening the final door and returning once more to the brick hallway. You toggle your flashlight back on and search for the janitor's closet. Finding it, you try the key. The door then clicks and creaks open. You shine your flashlight into the room, leading yourself to a light switch. Your eyes take a second to adjust after flicking on the light, but when they do, you feel your heart fill with a newfound confidence and determination. On the center of the table lies a 1911 pistol, next to it an exit key and a note. You take the key and put it in your pocket, then reading the note. The note says, "Though he's been getting increasingly violent, only use this if necessary. Also, can you please take down those notes he keeps leaving around each escape attempt? This is now a final key decision moment on whether you will get the good or bad ending, starting with the more common of the two, the bad ending." Finally, taking the gun, you see it has 7 rounds. However, upon picking it up, you accidentally trigger an alarm. The lights above turn red, wall sirens blaring a disorienting repetitive beep. Gripping your new weapon tightly, you leave the room and head toward the second hall, holding your gun out in front of you, with lethal intent. The alarm still ringing loudly as you make your way out of the brick hall and into the one where you previously saw the creature. You march down the hallway, aiming straight ahead and preparing to fire. And then you hear it, one last time. The creature stumbles towards you from the end of the hall, its disturbing mouthed face and fleshy body visible even more clearly now as you face off against it, both of you illuminated by the red alarm lights. You steady yourself, take aim, and fire. The gunshot echoes throughout the hallway, shortly followed by the splatter of blood. The creature falls to the ground, bleeding profusely out its neck. The alarm goes silent, and all you can hear is the gurgles of it choking on its own blood. Standing above the creature, you aim down at its head, its mouth shaking and biting at the air, before you put one more bullet into its head. Blood soaking the walls and floor. The gunshot's echo fades, and an eerie silence fills the hall. You stare blankly at the creature, before slowly and shakily walking to the end of the hall, opening the final door with your key. The door leads to a lobby-like area, with the open exit clear in sight. Freedom. Leaving the asylum, you walk aimlessly into the forest, letting your instincts guide the way. After a short while, you find yourself in a graveyard, one of the tombstones catching your gaze. You kneel down and read it. The headstone reads, "Rest in peace, Matthew Walker, 1999 through 2024. Beloved by his family, he was taken too soon." After reading that, it all comes back to you. You remember all the notes and the things you saw back at the asylum, all the things you missed or ignored. Your name, your age, your diagnosis, your brother. You piece it all together, but it's far too late. Your brother died and the grief drove you mad. You were sent to that asylum not just to get better, but to protect you from yourself and others from you. Loudly in the distance you hear police sirens approaching, and then it hits you. There never was a creature. That was a person you shot. Hospital staff, maybe. But you killed a person, and now the police are coming. The grief overwhelms you, Rowan Walker, and he takes his own life above his brother's grave. For the good ending, we have to rewind back to when you first find the gun. By this point, you have already pieced together what is going on. Rather than ignoring the notes, you embrace that what you're seeing isn't real. However, you still want to escape. With this in mind, you can either take the gun and not use it, or you can just leave it there on the table, the second option coming with the added bonus of not setting off the alarm. You take the key and return back to the hallway with the creature, this time taking a more stealthy approach, hiding in the lockers again to sneak past the creature. Making your way to the end of the hall, You use the exit key and follow the same path as before, once more arriving at the tombstone. However, this time after reading it, you come to terms with the loss, taking the time to grieve and coming to the realization that you need help to get better.
I remember now. And I wish you were still here. I need help.
Thank you to everybody who played Grief, and I hope that this video helped you understand the story. But for now, it's Stefano Gaming, signing off.